Yo, what is up? Welcome to Ninja Geek Games. You know, Necromancers, they get a bad rep. They spend all day mixing potions, creating arcane spells, and carrying out forbidden rituals just to make ends meet. No, wait. Is that in the end they make meat? Yes, they dig up corpses to raise the dead, which is frowned upon, but for me, they put the nerd into ne'er-do-wells. N-E-R-D. Yeah, that works. Cadaver is a 2 to 6 player light-hearted card game consisting of hand and resource management and set collection. So grab your shovels and let's dig deep to see what we find. The game comes with over 100 nicely illustrated cards with some quirky artwork comprising various corpses, resources, accomplices and assets to help you along your way. The aim of the game is for players to not only claim corpses but to spend resources to raise them from the dead that provide endgame victory points. During the game, you as a Necromancer will get to place cards from hand into your play area that could be the cold corpses that you've robbed from the grave. To reanimate them, you first need to collect the required resources shown on the corpse card that include potions, scrolls and brains in various combinations. As the game continues, you'll eventually meet these resource requirements where the corpse becomes alive, again, and will score you endgame victory points. At the end of the round, you'll be required to draw cards back to your hand from a very thematic graveyard stack made from the game box. At this time, you can also make use of any accomplices you played that include the Mad Scientist, some form of witch, Igor, and, Obi-Wan Kenobi? What these do is give you more options of where to draw your cards from, represented by the resource type that they're holding. This is the only time you can make use of these separate resource decks, and if you manage to reanimate a corpse, the resource cards used get placed back into these piles, so they'll grow over time. During each turn, you only get to lay 2 cards from your hand into your play area, and we looked at corpses, resources and accomplices, so you need to think about how this best supports you scoring points. Resources can be played to reanimate the dead over a number of turns if needed, and your accomplices provide better chances of you getting the resources that you need, rather than drawing blindly from the graveyard deck, and these remain active for the whole game. But there are benefits from taking cards from the grave. There are 4 additional card types that provide special actions or abilities once played to help you on your way to victory or to stitch up your opponent. Coffins are pretty cool as they can be placed on top of other cards in any play area or resource pile and prevent players from using the cards underneath. Genius. However, coffins can be unlocked with skeleton keys, although these cards are pretty rare in comparison. Ghouls are pesky little critters that allow you to steal cards from an opponent's play area, like corpses and associated resources or accomplices, and amulets can be used as a wild type resource as well as protecting you from the actions of ghouls. At the end of a round, you can even trade cards in your hand with other players, so you get a bit more table talk and the trades don't have to be even. I mean, what's an amulet worth? 2 brains and a potion? That seems reasonable. Dawn signals the end of the game, which is where the graveyard deck is empty, where all players score victory points based on the number of corpses that they reanimated. Each individual corpse is worth 1 measly victory point, but sets of 3 different corpse cards score you 5, and if you have 3 of a kind, you get a whopping 10 points. If you're lucky enough to have gained and kept hold of the ultra rare Abomination card and raise it from the dead, you gain another 5 points. The game is a fun filler with a little take that. You'll find times you're about to reanimate the final card in a 3 of a kind set and someone steals it off you, so you may want to keep an amulet in hand to prevent this, or try and tease one from someone's cold dead hands with a large trading incentive. For a small game, it's quite thematic, and I like using the graveyard box as the draw deck and think the artwork is pretty cool. Note that this version of the game is a pre-production copy, so there may be some changes from what you see here. If you enjoy the video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. This is Ninja Geek Games. Cheers.